Get ready for sports, news, and entertainment. All right here, your 7 minutes with Simmons starts right now.
A flood has brought sadness to the hearts and tears to the face of people in Texas. Welcome back, guys. Christian here, your host of 7 with Simmons, wishing you all a peaceful day on a very beautiful sunny Sunday here in Niagara Falls. But some unfortunate news needs to be presented today. I don't love doing it, but sometimes it's required. Starting in St. Catharines, a bar named 88. If you know it, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. The investigation into the shooting of a 16-year-old back in April has officially reached a peak with the AGCO. The board has decided to temporarily suspend the liquor license as they pursue a permanent removal. So if 88 was your spot, it's time to move on, folks. Maybe pursue Mansion Fiddlers down the road, Levels just around the corner. One of the other spots there on St. Paul Street, totally fine, but 88 is soon to be entirely revoked from their privileges with the AGCO. So that's an interesting story. Wanted to just highlight that quickly. That's your local bit. And then our big one today, breaking news out of Texas. Over this weekend, a devastating flood has continued to induce bodily harm, leaving dozens deceased, hundreds injured in what is being called a once-in-a-generation flood. Now, the stream started back on Friday after a monstrous downpour hitting the Guadeloupe River, creating what is called a flash flood. Now, I've seen some of the videos. I've done a little bit of reading. The flooding itself has occurred in an area that holds many different campgrounds. It's along the Guadeloupe River, and terror, like summer camps for children and trailer parks in the area in which the water has done extensive, irreparable damage. And it all started on Friday morning. Houses and trailers had been wiped out almost entirely, with the flood continuing for a 3-day period. The current death toll is up at 52 individuals at this time. Missing individuals, 4 from a summer camp in the area. That's 4 missing girls. They were found and pronounced dead, among a minimum of 15 other children that were also killed from the flood. Additionally, 27 girls from a secondary camp in the area called Camp Mystic are also missing, with 4 of that 27 confirmed dead as well. Just a terrible tragedy out of Texas. Awful to read about, and you know what? There's lots of warnings at the time right now. You know, they've put out as much emerge as they can. You know, and Donald Trump spoke out a little bit about it, calling it terrible as, you know, emergency services continue to make their rounds, you know, looking to rescue as many as possible in one way or another. There's no way to make this better. Emergency services have rescued over 800 individuals affected by the flooding in what is some minor positive news. But the tragedy remains, and as I was watching some of the videos, the water stream was violent, you know, just a heartless rhythm of water that cut through trees, signs, and barriers with ease. Just a scary, scary sight to see. And I really hope for everybody involved in that flood that just a speedy recovery for those that have been injured. To the families have been affected in the death toll, my deepest condolences for your losses. And to those injured, I wish you a speedy recovery. Godspeed to all in Texas. I hope nothing but the best for you guys. And what is like a flash flood is what they're calling it. And there's more rain forecast anticipated for the following days. Local officials warned that the number of death tolls will likely rise due to an update given on Sunday morning. That's today. And, you know, it looks like the rain is going to continue. Now, 15 inches have been expected across Texas Hill Country, 85 miles northwest of San Antonio. It was unclear exactly how many people in this area are still missing, but it is very clear that the rain is going to continue. Some experts have questioned whether cuts to the federal workforce by the Trump administration, including the agency that oversees the National Weather Service, led to a failure by officials to accurately predict the severity of the floods and issue appropriate warnings ahead of the storm. So that's something we could see developing a potential storyline that might be pursued by certain agencies as they they look to hold somebody accountable for the devastating events that have occurred in Texas. Now, President Donald Trump and his administration have overseen thousands of job cuts from the National Weather Service agency, and leaving some of these weather offices understaffed. So we'll see, again, like I said, how that plays out. Now, Homeland Security has called this a moderate flood. They issued that notice on Thursday, predicting the extreme rainfall would not be as bad as it was. Now, more rain was expected in the area today at around 1 p.m., and it's really, really terrible, and it's sad, and I hope the experts and people working in the weather industry are incorrect as they predict a continued torrential downpour in Texas, and really, really hoping that they can find a way to turn it around. Texas Governor Greg Abbott had asked Trump to sign a disaster declaration, which would unlock federal aid for those affected. And Trump said that he would honor that request. So that's good news, as the United States seems to be on the same page. The federal government looks to be heavily involved in the recovery process in Texas, and we'll keep an eye on that as they look to continue rescuing those affected. And that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. That was 7 Minutes with Simmons. We'll see you next time. Peace.